It's Ken Harbaugh with the MeidasTouch Network. The resistance is global. I am still in Denmark, where on Saturday I joined a massive protest against the Trump regime. There were over 10,000 of us marching from the historic citadel overlooking Copenhagen Harbor down to the U.S. Embassy. The protest was planned as a response to Donald Trump's comments disparaging the sacrifices made by America's allies after we called upon NATO to help us in Afghanistan.
We've never needed them. We have never really asked anything of them. You know, they'll say they sent some troops to Afghanistan or this or that. And they did. They stayed a little off the front lines. But we've been very good to Europe and to many other countries.
After those remarks by our president, the U.S. Embassy here in Copenhagen ordered the removal of Danish flags planted in these flower boxes across from the embassy, each representing a Dane killed while serving alongside U.S. forces in Iraq and Afghanistan. I cannot begin to describe how our NATO allies have reacted to this. In fact, the Danish veterans I've spent the last week with, both here in Denmark and in Greenland, are at a loss for words to describe how appalled they are by both our president's statements and by the actions of the embassy. This march was a silent protest, with just a few speeches and a reading of the names of Danes killed serving alongside the U.S. It was a deeply solemn event, and the organizers chose to call it the No Words March, because it is impossible to put into words the damage our president has done to this alliance. The crowd itself was one of the largest anti-Trump protests outside the United States ever. As we made our way from the Citadel to the embassy, the line of protesters extended so far that it was impossible to see both ends, and there was already a massive crowd waiting at the embassy. There was, of course, absolutely no representation from our government. The embassy itself looked like it was boarded up. Another shameful episode for America. That said, every Dane I talked to about this told me they were there to protest against the American government, not against America. In fact, Congressman Riggleman and I were asked to march at the front of the parade, holding American flags. Probably the most lasting impression I will have from my time in Greenland and in Denmark is the grace we've been shown. I was traveling with fellow Americans, members of a delegation from the Save America movement, and not once did we encounter anger directed towards us. It was directed towards our government, and especially our president. I did ask how long it might take once we defeat Donald Trump and once we repudiate American fascism. How long will it take to repair the damage? More than one person answered that they're not sure they'll ever be able to trust America again. That hurt to hear, but I understand it. A betrayal like this is not an easy thing to get past. I spoke with one of the organizers of the No Words March before we set off. Soren Knudsen is a former colonel in the Danish military who served alongside Americans. His admiration for America runs deep. He spent time in the States and served side by side with us in uniform. But he cannot abide what our government is doing now. It's Ken Harbaugh with a quick break to tell you about something new. Battle Buddies is my latest weekly show where I try to find common ground with a conservative who I consider a true friend, David Bellavia, the only surviving Medal of Honor recipient from the war in Iraq. A Navy vet, an Army vet from opposite ends of the political spectrum, engaging in a civil conversation like we used to have. From the ICE immigration crackdowns to Trump's takeover of Venezuela, David and I take on the toughest issues of the day with genuine respect for each other, in spite of our very different perspectives. They're not always easy conversations, but they're always important, and that's something we need more of. Respectful dialogue between people who disagree, but who have figured out how to stay friends. Check out Battle Buddies today. 2 vets, 2 views, 1 nation. Find us on the Valor Media Network. The link's below. Thanks. I'm with Soren Knudsen here at the Citadel in Copenhagen, Denmark. He is the vice president of the Danish Veterans Association. Soren, can you tell me about the T-shirt, what it represents, and what's about to happen today?
Yeah, we were speechless when we heard the words that came out of the mouth of the president, the vice president, the vice chief of staff. and their opinions on Denmark, their opinions on Danish participation, Danish support to the United States following the 9/11. We felt appalled. We were angry. So we thought we need to demonstrate that. We need to demonstrate to the Danish veterans that this is wrong. We needed to demonstrate it to our veterans, our colleagues in the Faroe Islands, in Greenland, all over the Kingdom of Denmark. But we also needed to demonstrate this to all those friends and allies, all those American veterans that fought with us for the same values and who still stand behind those values that we were out there for.
You have also welcomed American veterans to this silent march and protest in front of the United States Embassy. What does it mean to you to have Americans marching alongside you as you make this procession from this historic fort up the road into the U.S. Embassy?
It means exactly what I would like to underline. This is not against America. This is actually pro-America, pro what we fought for together, pro the values, and pro all those colleagues who were with us out there. We fought literally meters away from the enemy. We did it together. So it means a lot that today we are saying what was officially stated by the administration is wrong. That should be corrected. And on the other hand, those who were with us out there and who have sent us greetings, even excuses, we have had so much support from US veterans and a lot of other Americans. We want to return that favor and certainly support them.
This march will end at the U.S. Embassy. I am sure the media will focus on the Danish flags in the flower beds in front of the U.S. Embassy, but that is its own story, because a few days ago, staff directed by embassy leadership removed those flags, planted there in honor of Danish war veterans, war dead, who gave their lives serving alongside Americans. Can you talk about how it felt to Danes to see those flags removed, to see that sign of disrespect in your own country by our embassy?
Well, I would like to say, first of all, the Danish national colors, the Dannebrog, is actually the oldest national symbol of any existing nation. And to the Danes, this is extremely important. We use our flag for so much more than, I guess, any other nation. So the flag is sacred to us. Our national colors mean so much to us. So when you remove it, you're kind of in itself, it's inexcusable. Now, things happen. It could have been a mistake or it could have been deliberate. That's not my judgment. The most important thing is the names of the veterans were on those flags. I think somebody could have guessed that. But I will leave that. What I want to say is today we are going to plant new flags, embroidered flags that some have done and made within the last 48 hours. We will put those flags there, and we really feel that they should be respected. And we are quite sure they will be, by the way.
Before we set out on this march, can you talk about the significance of where we are starting, of this fort? And maybe we can get a shot of the Danish flag in the background here. Why did you pick this location as the starting point?
Well, the citadel of Copenhagen has been here since 1660. It was originally the king's citadel just outside of Copenhagen. But more importantly, today, it's where our national monument for the fallen heroes, where it exists. It's just behind you right now. That is obviously an important statement. We will start the ceremony today by laying a wreath and having 1 minute of silence in respect of those fallen. We had 44 in Iraq and 44 in Afghanistan and 8 in Iraq. So those 52 heroes that each of their names are on the walls in the memorial room at the National Monument. We will start here and then we will march slowly in great respect for that. We will march to the American embassy. The American embassy signifying the official America, the America that came out with those statements, but not all those Americans whom we support and who support us.
Thank you, Soren. As an American vet, it will be an honor to march alongside you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.